you a business owner or are you a business leader? Now, I first thought of entrepreneurship as a young adult in my late teens to early 20s. The first time I thought about it, it wasn't about me becoming a business leader. It was more about me owning a business where I am in control of my schedule. I can hire the type of people I like to work with. And that's more about personality and character than it is about anything else, right? Now, I liked the idea of creating a business where I'm helping thousands of people in a good way. The vision wasn't fully formulated because I didn't know then what products or services I wanted to offer. All I know is that I wanted to own my own business where I'm not working for anyone. And that's where most people start, right? With the idea, and then they work it out over time. Now, all of us as entrepreneurs own our businesses, but how many of you consider yourself leaders of your business? Being an owner is not synonymous with being a leader. There's a distinct difference between the two. Now, as a business owner, you're concerned with the processes and the procedures, the nuts and bolts of starting and growing your business. You're making sure that all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. And you want to make sure that everything is working well. And most often, you're doing it as alone as what we call a solopreneur. Now, that's how many of us start out before we can afford to build our teams or even to get one more person on board with us. We all started off as solopreneurs. Now, sure, the time requirements are fairly substantial because you have to fill out paperwork. You're looking at a list of business activities that you have to do. You're submitting and paying taxes. You're performing sales and marketing activities. And of course, you're doing the day-to-day work. The hard part, though, is transforming from an owner into a leader. And that means a big change of self, a change of perspective, and a change of how you do business. Transforming from an owner into a leader, you're now going to start to hire people. You're going to have to be the person who empowers a team to buy into and drive your vision forward. So, how do you inspire your clients and customers right now and the other people around you to walk the walk with you? The truth is, not everyone has the skills or the temperament to be both the leader and the owner, and that's okay. We all have different strengths and weaknesses. It's just about finding out what yours is. Is it impossible for an owner to transform into a leader? Absolutely not. I love working with business owners and showing them how they can transform into the leadership role in their business through my Maximize Your Genius program, right? Now, owners, well, I'm going to tell you a few differences between an owner and a leader. Owners, owners tell you what to do. Leaders show you what to do and how to walk through the process. All right. So leaders will say to you, watch me. That means pay attention, observe what I'm doing. And then they will say, do it with me. Be my partner. Let's do this together. Right. The third thing that leaders will say is, now you do it, I'm stepping back. This is where you start developing their ability to lead independently. Your job now as the leader, the owner slash leader, is to provide constructive feedback and guidance to help them grow into a leader, a competent leader, right? And then the fourth thing the leader does is you do it. So this is where you as the leader give them the reins, fully, along with the knowledge and the opportunity to replicate that development process in others, just like you did with them. True leaders are in the leadership development business, right? So the four stages that would take you from owner to leader is very simple. Well, simple on paper. Sometimes it's a little bit harder to do it than to just read about it. But the four simple steps I will give you today is this: watch me, Do it with me. Now you do it because I'm stepping back. And then finally, you do it, right? Follow these simple steps and it will help you to step out of the ownership role into the leadership role. Now, stepping over into leadership doesn't mean you're no longer the owner. Obviously, you're still the owner. It's just that now you're not just functioning, doing the day to day tasks anymore. You have now stepped into a new role where you're teaching others how to do those things and you're empowering them, you're coaching and mentoring. You've now stepped into a coaching and mentoring role because the fact of the matter is, real leaders are always in the leadership development business. You're not a leader if you're not developing others, right? Because at the end of the day, it's about leaving your legacy. And if there's no one to leave your legacy to, it means you failed as a leader. It doesn't matter how much money you've made in your business. You've literally failed as a leader because if you should pass away, who's going to carry on this thing for you, or does it die with you? You have to think about that. So, how do you move from owner to leader again? Right? The beginning of leadership is what I call self-discovery. An effective leader is one who has invested in self development and developed the character to withstand the pressures of leading him or herself. And once you've learned how to lead yourself, you're now ready to lead others. Now, I find that a lot of leadership programs focus on competencies, not enough on character development, though. This is our niche market here in the leadership sphere at Karlene Millwood International. So at Karlene Millwood International, we help individuals and organizations develop the strategies to move their business forward. We also have a whole section where we do leadership development, where we're training future leaders, whether as an entrepreneur, solopreneur, or as an organization. Right? So we go heavy on the character development aspects of leadership because we know that a leader's character determines the destiny of the organization or the business. So let's talk character. There's an old adage which says talent will get you into the room, but character will get you in the room and cement your seat at the table. Well, really, that's my take on the old adage. The old adage really says that talent will get you into the room, but character will keep you there. But I think that character will get you in the room and cement your seat at the table. That's my spin on it. A good character is so important that it is deemed as a foundational requirement of trust. And trust is essential for all meaningful relationships. Would you agree? Of course. Now, you should never consider following someone with dubious moral or ethical values, which means yours have to be intact for others to follow you. Do you see how that works? Right? Character is the strength of your moral and ethical identity. And as Abraham Lincoln said, character is like a tree and reputation like its shadow. The shadow is what we think of it, the tree is the real thing. The first thing you need to develop as a business leader is your character. Start by identifying the areas that you struggle with first, then take the necessary steps to change them. Your evolution is an ongoing process, but you must start somewhere. So, where are you going to start today? Maybe you can start by checking out one of my courses on Thinkific. I have some great leadership starter courses over there for you to get you, started, to get your foot in the door on this whole leadership journey. And if you need more information, reach out to me. I'd be happy to provide some information for you. Now, the second part of this that I want to talk about is mentorship. The highest form of leadership is mentorship. And the purpose of mentorship is to replicate success in the one being mentored. Would you agree? Of course it is. Otherwise, why mentor somebody? And why would you allow yourself to be mentored by someone else? There has to be a benefit, right? So the one being mentored is to replicate the success of the mentor in that person. Now, that being said, find a mentor who has experienced demonstrable success in the area where you're seeking mentorship. That success can manifest in different ways, not only financially. There is the fallacy to think that the only way you can measure success in a person is through finances. Now, don't get me wrong. I am huge on financial success and financial results. So I'm not saying that it's not important here. What I'm saying is that it's not the only thing that someone can mentor you on. It's not the only way that someone can have demonstrable success in order to become a mentor to someone else. It's one of the ways, okay? So the important thing is to ask the right questions so that you are getting the right answers. And what are some of those questions? What questions would you ask to make sure that you are getting the right mentor for you? Here are some things to look for in a potential mentor. Extensive experience in a relevant field, similar educational background and values like yourself. They've overcome similar challenges, similar in the sense that you need their help to overcome a challenge in your life or your business. They've already overcome that challenge, and so they can offer you their expertise. Your mentor should be friendly and have a genuine personality. They should be credible and have trustworthy character. They must be an empowerer and not a controller. Your mentor should be flexible in their mentoring style and comfortable also learning from their mentee. If you find someone who only wants to teach all the time and is not listening to your voice, that's not a person you need to be around. Because yes, they're helping you through a problem. They're helping you overcome a challenge. But guess what? You also have things that are important that you can teach them. And so that person has to be humble enough to want to hear what you have to say, your perspective on a matter, and learn from you if and when necessary. So what type of mentorship do you need? Is it financial? Is it business? Is it leadership? Determine what areas you need to develop most and find a qualified mentor to help you. Now, you can also check out our signature Maximize Your Genius mentorship program or our leadership courses to see if they may be the right fit for you right now. All right. Again, www.karlenemillwood.com/strategy. That's the MYG mentorship program, that the link where you can register. And www.kmi.thinkific.com is where the leadership courses are. I'll be sure to put those up at the end of the video for you. All right. Don't worry about it right now. So the third step that I want to take you through is to build strategic relationships. So important. My spiritual mentor always says this to us: your life will resemble those with whom you assemble. Words cannot express how much I appreciate her because she has taught me so much about spiritual entrepreneurship. And, that has pushed me forward faster and further than if I were doing this on my own. Then through her, I came in contact with one of my business mentors who has helped me identify and eliminate clogs that were causing my business to grind to a halt. Now, every mentor should themselves have a mentor, right? All the way back to the creator. The creator is the original mentor, and he's put people in place to mentor each and every one of us. I have several mentors. I have spiritual mentors, I have leadership mentors, I have business mentors. Those are the three spheres that I operate in the most. And so I need mentors, people who have gone ahead of me, who know more than me, who can pour into me and continue to empower me and help me to fill up my cup so that I can pour out to somebody else. Right? So every mentor should have a mentor. So I also operate in the arts and entertainment sphere. And when I get stuck in creating a stage or a screenplay, I call them my creative friends to help me brainstorm new ideas. I also leverage advice from a financial advisor and other leaders who are further ahead of me. Each of these relationships is carefully chosen for purposeful connection so that it won't become a distraction or a detriment to my vision. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Choose your relationships wisely. The only reason I keep harping on this topic so much is that I know the damage that wrong relationships can cause, and I'm trying to save you the hassle. Having the right support system around you will quantum leap you to levels you never imagined. And one way to tell if you're leveling up is when new relationships start showing up in your life. Pay attention. but be discerning. Just because they show up doesn't mean they're right for you. Draw on your values, draw on prayer, whatever your spiritual exercise is. Tap in, listen before you make that decision. One of the things I always like to say is that a God friend is always better than a good friend. So listen to who your divine creator is telling you is the right fit for you. Another important aspect of relationship building is how do you interact with your team? Are you the owner who walks in the door and goes to your office without acknowledging them? Or are you the leader who interacts on a personal level? That doesn't mean you have to be everybody's bestie, right? You don't have to be everybody's BFF, but each employee or team member is a unique individual and should be recognized and treated that way. Show them that they're valued and valuable to you and the organization. I worked for a company many years ago where I had the best experience with leadership. No jokes. Honestly, I feel they were ahead of their time when it came to leadership because they were demonstrating 2 decades ago much of what is being taught about leading authentically and leading with love today. One of my favorite memories is that every morning the CFO would come to perch on my desk, excuse me, and regale me with stories about his fabulous weekend with his family. He interacted with me as if I was in the C suite with him. The president used to call me to his office every couple of weeks simply to see how I'm doing personally and if he can offer assistance getting through any professional roadblocks. He and I are still friends today, believe it or not, and we have lunch as often as our schedules permit. The manager, my direct manager that I reported to, she was simply amazing. She gave us so much room to be creative and shine that sometimes we forgot that we had a manager. She was there for all the critical moments, of course, but outside of that, we ran the show. Our relationship is also still intact today. When I worked with the police service, the chief of police never allowed me to leave his presence without having a personal conversation with me. Now, there were also a couple of his deputies who were the same. One of them would invite me to his office all the time to have these in depth personal and professional conversations. Those relationships have impacted me deeply and taught me so much of what I model in leadership in my business today. So, question for you: how are you interacting with your team and your followers? Right? Not all of you have teams right now. Again, many of you are still solopreneurs, so maybe it's just you. But how are you interacting with your followers? These relationships are also key. The fourth thing that will help you on your leadership journey as a business owner is to communicate your vision clearly. Communication is such an important part of any relationship. Leaders who communicate effectively are usually well respected by their teams. And in my Communicate with Impact course, I teach that as a business leader, you must develop the ability and capacity to communicate at different levels in your organization, whether in your community as well or in your global groups, wherever they are on social media, however you choose to interact with people. But you have to be able to communicate with people at all levels, right? Business leaders are also active listeners. They listen to their employees, they listen to their customers, they listen to their vendors, they listen to their followers, and pay attention to the market trends that are happening in their niche. What's going on in your niche market today? If I should ask you, what are the trends that are coming down in the next 5 years in the niche market that your business is in? Would you be able to tell me? You have to stay on top of all these things because these are the things that are going to help drive that conversation, that are going to give you that level of credibility and integrity when you're talking to people. So, this is how they are able to understand the changes that are facing their business and industry in order to make the right moves for their business, right? Leaders who communicate well, they value the thoughts and opinions of their peers, of their teams, the industry experts, and they also listen to their followers. You have to listen to your followers. How else are you going to know how to create a product or a service that they find valuable? So they're always seeking feedback from these individuals, from these organizations. right? And business leaders with effective listening skills are typically more engaged with their team members. And this always leads to higher employee job satisfaction if they're working within the corporate world, higher levels of productivity, higher levels of collaboration, and a reduced turnover, right? So if you're someone who communicates well, people are going to want to interact with you. People are going to want to be in your space, in your presence, because they feel comfortable around you. So think about that. And the next thing is, what's your vision? Are you able to communicate that vision clearly? Where do you see your business in 5, 10, or 15 years from now? What's your exit strategy if you have to sell or leave your business later on? The best leaders use vision as the roadmap to guide their teams and followers forward toward whatever that destination is. So, is your vision known and understood at all levels of your organization? Are you able to communicate that vision as a solopreneur to your followers and to people out there so that they know what you do? Maybe not everyone wants to be a follower. Some people may want to collaborate. Some people may want to partner with you. Are you able to communicate your vision clearly? Does your team understand how their work contributes to the vision? Do your followers know the objective of the programs you offer and how it will benefit them? All right, so my fifth and final point is this for today. And this is more, I was going to say this is more for people who are still in the corporate space, but no, you don't have to be in the corporate space. If you're an entrepreneur with employees, this is necessary for you. This one is big. Don't micromanage. Woohoo, said it, the M word. Don't micromanage. Nothing drains your energy and decreases motivation and productivity like a micromanager. Trust your staff, guys. Come on. It's an indication of how much you trust yourself and the choice that you made to hire them. Give your team the space to make mistakes and learn from their failures. Be there to guide them through the whys and the hows to future success. But give them room to be creative. That comes from your ability to empower and inspire them to do better, understanding full well that it may take many trials and errors before they get something right. But real leaders aren't looking so much for instant results as they're looking for attitude, work ethic, habits, and the ability to take and apply instructions effectively. So instead of watching their every move, be the leader that pushes them to their full potential, even when it hurts. So understanding the difference between business ownership and business leadership can help you greatly to build a motivated, inspired, and productive and respectful team of followers and clients, right? And it will also be that thing that push your business in the right direction. I can't think of anything else for today. That's all I have on the topic for today, but I hope that you found what I have said valuable. I'm going to put the websites up where you can check out the Maximize Your Genius program and also the leadership courses that I have digitized at the moment. I do offer other courses, but these are the ones that are digitized. You can go there and try them out on your own without any intervention from me and work through them at your own pace. Thank you for giving me the time today. I hope that this has inspired you. I hope that you found some value in it and that there are some nuggets for you to take away and implement right now. This is Karlene Millwood, business and leadership strategist, Karlene Millwood International. I look forward to interacting more and doing business with you. Bye for now.